Hey guys, Ray with First Down Sports here. Now, we here at First Down Sports have had plenty of big guests in the past. As you guys know, there's been plenty of discussions about the CFL coming to Moncton, and we have been on this story from day one, right, Andy?
Absolutely.
And our next guest, along with Premier Brian Gallant, has sat across the table from the Maritime Football Group and Commissioner Randy Ambrosie. It's my pleasure to welcome Mayor Dawn Arnold to First Down Sports. Welcome to First Down Sports.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
And here, definitely, thank you so much for getting us into this wonderful new studio of ours, I guess. Let's call it that, huh?
Would this be the first interview of the mayor in the new stadium?
No, unfortunately.
No, darn it all. There goes our thunder.
Did you guys hear Ray's heartbreak? I heard it over here.
All right, so let's talk CFL.
Sure.
Okay. Our biggest question is, I remember we were sitting, we were at work that day, and the tweet came out from Dave Naylor with TSN that Randy Ambrosie and the Maritime Football Group were in Moncton meeting with yourself and Premier Brian Gallant. Mm-hmm. How did that meeting come about?
Well, it was by the Premier. The Premier actually started the whole conversation, but it was a lot of fun.
Now, so he was the one that reached out to them to have them come to Moncton?
Yes.
When they were in Moncton, how did you feel their experience was in the city while they were visiting?
I would have to say that they were blown away by our city. Wow. And I think they were very, very surprised by what we had to offer here. They had a full tour of this beautiful state-of-the-art center, and they really couldn't quite believe it. They were in shock, I think, by coming in here, seeing the quality of the building, but also the fact that, the platinum seats were all sold out. The boxes there was a long list of people that wanted to buy boxes. They actually had to do a lottery to sell the boxes.
Wow.
So to see
great.
that level of support, I think really, really spoke to them and said, whoa, there's something happening in Moncton right now. There's incredible momentum that I don't think they fully realized. And when they saw the stadium, they were very, very impressed, and they can feel it. I mean, you can feel what's happening in our city right now, and it was not wasted on them. They know that there's something magical happening.
Well, the interesting thing is they keep talking about they need a stadium. They need a stadium. When you took them to UDM and they saw the stadium, and the stadium's there, I mean, all you got to do is add some seats in the end zones like we did for the CFL exhibition games. Were they impressed by that? Like, what did you feel like? What did you gain from them that day seeing the field?
Well, I actually wasn't on the tour of the stadium, but
okay.
I heard anecdotally afterwards that they thought it was a beautiful stadium and realized that it could definitely host a CFL team.
Right.
Now, since that time, that day of the visit, have you heard of any other correspondence happening between the CFL and the province of New Brunswick at all? Or
I'm not aware specifically of anything. I did hear that it was a topic of discussion in Halifax with their city council, but I don't have any information about that.
Okay. We pretty well know that if this team comes to fruition, it's going to Halifax. How big of a role does Moncton play, though, in that team succeeding in Halifax?
Well, I think all of Atlantic Canada plays a role because it will have to be an Atlantic Canadian team. So there are different scenarios that are possible, one of which, of course, I'm sure you know, is that perhaps maybe 1 or 2 seasons could potentially be played here, that you could develop a local fan base here while they're building a new stadium in Halifax. That's one of many possible scenarios.
And I would say best case scenario, definitely hearing it that way. Now, let's say, for instance, we don't get involved with games for whatever reason. Maybe the odd exhibition game during the preseason, but we don't really have a game presence here in Moncton. I'm definitely of the opinion, I agree with you, we have to be a huge part of their fan base. Everybody in the Maritimes have to be, and a lot of people from Moncton have to make that trip down for those 9 home games. What can we do to promote that team here in Moncton and make sure that the fan base grows here? What can we really do indirectly where we're not really there?
Well, I think the scenario would be that even if we didn't have a couple seasons, that we would have some games here. Mm-hmm. I think that's an important part of it all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how you hook the fans in, right? Mm-hmm. They need to experience
even
it.
the training camps. We've talked about them holding their training camps here in Moncton.
They definitely mentioned that.
And I mean, we've got the hotel space now. We've got the field in place. there's no reason why we can't be involved that way, right?
Now, Ray is one of the more optimistic people that I know, and if we asked Ray how confident he was that the CFL was going to make it to the Maritimes, he'd say 105%. Where are you at?
Just in general, making it to the Maritimes?
Yeah.
I would say 85.
85. I like it.
That's a good one. I like that.
Good number for me.
Absolutely. Awesome.
While we're talking about the stadium at UDM, a couple weeks ago, might have been a month ago, I went there to work a high school jamboree. The high schools all had a spring jamboree, and I got to go there and work with the teams. It was the first time I'd been on the field as a ball boy at the CFL games. I also worked halftime for the little kids games, but it was my first time working high school students at that stadium. You forget what a beautiful stadium it is.
Oh, it's an incredible stadium. Yeah.
Outside of what the university is using it for, is there any other opportunities? Like, for example, I look at high school. Our high school provincial finals right now are played at smaller fields. The seating's not the best. Is there an opportunity for that field to be used for high school sports or other team sports at the university?
Well, there's definitely opportunity. We are currently, negotiating with the university. I think there is a lot of opportunity, and those are the discussions that we are having with the university right now.
Okay,
it's good to hear.
It is good to hear because it's such a beautiful field.
It really is, huh? And they were very, very impressed with it.
Well, in the larger crowds that you can accommodate comfortably, the more the sport and the popularity of it grows here, right? For sure. So those big high school championship games there. I mean, Rocky Stone's a wonderful field. If you get a big enough crowd there, though, it gets a little cramped. So I think UWM would really take that to another level. And
having, infrastructure like that is so important. And that came about as a direct result of the IAAF, the World Track and Field, when they were here. And, hosting events like that, they bring so much to our city. Like when we had the FIFA Women's World Cup, we, as a result of that, got a number of turf fields. That we can enjoy and that we can attract other things. A couple weekends ago, we had 132 soccer teams in town.
Well,
because of that.
It's funny you say that. There's a summer football league that we covered pretty close this year. It's called the Maritime Football League. And the Halifax team this year had to have a game canceled because they couldn't find a field to play on. And here in Moncton, when you look at per capita as far as citizens go, we have a heck of a lot more turf fields than the city of Halifax does, for example.
Yeah, no, we're doing all right on the turf field front right
now. We definitely are.
Say.
We definitely are. All right, here we are, the new stadium. This has been a long project.
Yes.
It's finally coming to fruition. It's going to open here for game one and only weeks away. Talk to us about the excitement of accomplishing what you've done here with this building.
Well, it has been an incredibly exciting process, I would have to say. I just finished giving about 30 people a tour here, and every single person that came in just involuntarily went, oh, wow. Wow.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's very, very impressive, and it is a game changer for our community. It's when it opens on September 8th and 9th, we're going to have a public opening, and everybody is invited in to come behind the scenes, kick the tires, see what $113 million gets you. First of all, I just can't wait for everybody to get in and see it, because it will be the nicest building of its kind in the world.
Yeah.
For about 2 weeks until someone builds a nicer one.
There you go.
But this one was built. It will open on time, on budget, and that's pretty significant in itself. And it was because so much work was done up front that the construction company Bird worked with SMG, the operator and manager, from the very first day. So all of the best practices from around the world. SMG manages buildings like this, 240 of them around the world. So everything that they've learned with those 240 other buildings is in this building.
Wow.
Awesome.
From when you look at where this building's going to be 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, we know the Moncton Wildcats are going to be here. We know there's going to be numerous concerts that come to this building. We already know Keith Urban's coming. What other things do you expect or can vision coming into this building from even a sports perspective?
Oh, well, basketball for sure.
Okay.
Cirque du Soleil, I think that's sports.
Wow, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic. All right. Parking.
Yes.
Here we go.
We have to talk about this. My wife, Jeannie, our sound technician, she is tired of this topic. I'm tired of this topic,
I'm
actually.
a little tired of it.
I think we all are. But you know what? Today is a great example. I was in today picking up equipment for this interview. Somebody heard I was going to be interviewing here and wanted to get into a big conversation with me about parking. I personally think it's from lack of education. I don't think they fully understand what's down here for parking and transportation at this point. Not only that, but my other big thing is we were just in Ontario to the Ottawa Red Blacks and Hamilton Ticats game. No parking whatsoever. They were able to get 20,000 plus people to a game through public transportation, taxi, limo, whatever the case may be. For a Moncton Wildcats game, this place sits 8,800 people. What steps has the city put in place to help transport that type of crowd here a couple times a week?
Sure. Well, there are a number of things. We now have a significant Kodiak Transit bus laybys on both sides of the streets here. So they will drop you off right at the front door. So
Right.
there
Nice.
is that. And, we aren't bus taking people here. But when you think of something like the Green Line, which goes all the way from Trinity all the way along Mountain Road, you could park anywhere along Mountain Road, hop on the bus. It comes every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes today, like regular route, it comes every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes dropping people off
Wow.
at the front door here.
I did not know that.
I know most people don't, but
Right.
we actually have for things like that, or you could park at I'm probably not supposed to say this,
Yeah.
Champlain Place, and take the red line. It goes all the way along Mountain Road or Main Street every 15 minutes right now.
Could there be a new line put in place for game day where people could still park at, say, the Coliseum and take like a park and ride situation to this stadium? Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, as I've just explained,
Yeah.
you can take a bus right now from Champlain Place all the way along Mountain Road,
Yeah.
or anywhere along Mountain. I mean, we do already have existing pretty decent transit that's coming here.
Right.
So I mean, people will need to, try it out. We have something called mybestoption.ca, an online website which goes through a number of different scenarios. Where are you coming from? What part of town are you coming from? Are you coming with someone who maybe has mobility challenges? Are you coming with children? Are you coming with, all sorts of different scenarios? And it will help you solve that problem.
One other idea I thought of, this is post-blog, is what about if this street out front here was closed down to regular traffic and it was open just for bus and public transportation? Do you think that might speed people getting in and out of the building?
Perhaps. I mean, we're really gonna have to see how this goes,
Right.
and see. I mean, how many times is it going to be, all 10,000 people in here?
Exactly. Exactly.
But one thing that we're forgetting, and anybody who's gone to an event in another city knows that half of the fun of the game is the walk to the game.
Walk to the stadium.
And we have this beautiful, beautiful plaza right here. That's going to be part of it. That's, I think, almost as important as the building. Even if you don't have tickets to go to the game, you're going to be part of it. You're going to be able to be part of the excitement. And I've talked to a lot of people when we were doing the Memorial Cup bid. We took the people around the selection committee, and they were just could not believe, first of all, how beautiful the building was, but how important that plaza space is from a fan activation perspective. Like, so many cities are building centers like this in their downtowns, but they're kind of just plunking them in between buildings.
Yeah.
The fact that we have this public gathering space right here on the side, it's a game changer. It's really important. So it makes it a lot more fun.
Now, walking is the perfect segue into what I promise will be our last parking question, but I have to ask this because this was such a huge part of the feedback that we got from our blog and from our videos and so on, and that is the winter. So you're right, we're not bus taking people, we're not really walking people either, if you listen to everybody. And walking in the winter is a huge theme that we hear, right? A lot of people like to take their car, park it somewhere, and walk. I don't know how keen everybody is yet on the park and bus, though nobody's tried it, so we have to try it. What do you say about the winter?
I say that Toronto and Ottawa have winters too.
Well, as somebody who just spent 6 years living downtown Toronto and only recently moved back to this wonderful city, I can tell you that maybe 3 times in those 6 years that I was there, it snowed and the snow was still there the next day. So the winters there versus the winters here, where you may come in for a game and then go back outside and you better have a shovel in your trunk, very different experience. So.
Sure, but Ottawa does have a winter like that.
Absolutely.
I've lived in Toronto and in Ottawa, and and actually I was just in Ottawa last winter, and let me tell you, their sidewalks were a lot worse than ours.
So you're saying they know what's going on. All right.
And listen, one thing I can see already out here, the sidewalks are nice and wide around this stadium.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? So they've got lots of place to put the snow to clean it up here a little bit better than if it was plopped in the middle of a downtown with no sidewalks around it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a learning experience for
Sure.
all of us, on how
Yeah.
what a game day looks like. But part of our vision of this game changer was that you would come down maybe a little bit early, get a free on-street meter, because after 6 they're free.
Yeah.
Then maybe meet up with some friends and go for a drink or for dinner, or that will become part of the experience too.
For
And
sure.
I talk about that all the time. I mean, right now we look at what we see out here is not what it's going to look like in 5 to 10 years from now. There'll be restaurants and pubs all up and down this lane here.
Well, right here, there is a Hyatt Hotel going in, and it will have a 5,000 square foot major restaurant/bar in it.
Right. So I talk about the casual sports fan not wanting to just go to a game anymore. They want that full experience of going out for a drink, a dinner, a hockey game, and then another drink.
Or hanging out in that plaza.
Right, exactly. So
All right.
I think we've beat parking.
I was going to say, the 3 of us are sick of talking about parking. Jeannie B, you should see her face behind the camera right now talking about parking. What do you say we all make an agreement right now that the 4 of us are finished?
We're
talking
finished
about
with parking.
Not just right now, even when we leave.
We're going to try it out. We're going to
try it
out
all.
and
Let's
see
try
how
it
it
all.
goes. All right. There's your parking. We said we got plenty of messages saying don't duck the parking. Make sure you talk about the parking.
But
All
I
right.
do encourage people to go to mybestoption.ca and look at it, because there may be some ideas there that you haven't thought of.
You heard it, guys.
You are very involved in your community.
I love this
every
city.
event that's going on in the city, you're there. Whether I'm there or not, I see pictures of you on Facebook and stuff like that. I want to know, how does sports, both minor and major sports, help a community like Moncton?
Oh my goodness, that's a big question.
It's a big question.
In huge ways. I mean, economically, socially, culturally. I mean, they're huge parts. I mean, and whether you're talking about the 132 soccer teams that were here a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big. That has huge impact. Whether it's, when we get the Briar.
There you go.
That's huge. That's a full week of everybody in restaurants and every hotel room filled. That has a huge economic impact. But, we can't forget about some of these, the amateur sports, like
Absolutely.
the hockey tournaments in the wintertime.
Ringette
They're
tournaments,
huge.
hockey tournaments,
Yeah.
you name it. The place is packed when that happens, right?
Yeah, and we will be hosting in 2021. It's called Les Jeux de la Francophonie, and it is the largest multi-competition event that has ever been hosted east of Montreal. It's enormous.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're going to be having a number of the sort of pre-game test competitions here. Like, we'll be hosting some soccer events and some judo and that kind of thing as well. So,
Last question. Do you have anything you want to follow up on that?
No. What's
All
your
right.
last question?
Last
right?
question. With some of the feedback I got on my blog from the negative naysayers, is out-of-towners are not going to want to come to this city and have to worry about parking downtown.
I thought we weren't
We're
talking
done with
about
parking. But what I
anymore.
want you to do is tell the out-of-towners, the people that don't live in Moncton, why they need to come to Moncton and what they'll love about this city.
Well, this event center, I mean, look at it. It's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're already attracting events that aren't coming to other major centers.
Right.
So that's a big part of it.
For a lot of the surrounding areas, this is going to be it. They're going to be able to come here for for a certain level of event that they won't get anywhere else.
Oh, absolutely not. And I've brought in the Regional Service Southeast Regional Service Commission, all the mayors and representatives, and they're just like, they're super excited that Moncton is giving them this lovely present. Yeah.
Well, that's all we got. Andy, anything else?
I just want to say thanks for letting us in here. Guys who are watching the video, we're kind of giving you a little bit of a tease with the background here, but that's all you're getting. We don't want to unveil too much, but
not too much. You have to wait till the 8th and the
very
9th.
impressive what I'm seeing over in this direction and this one too.
That's it?
That's what I got.
Anything further? Anything you want to add, or are we good?
Well, just September 8th and 9th. It would be really terrific for
Okay.
people to get behind the scenes and see this place.
So
up
it's
close
an
and
opening.
personal.
It's an open personal public tour.
It's a public opening, and you will have to register through Ticketmaster, free, of
Okay.
course, but so that we don't have 10,000 people showing up.
Right,
at
right,
our-
right.
You need to know
yeah.
how many are coming, right?
Yeah.
You got to
So,
know.
yeah.
All right. There you go, guys. This is our world into politics with Mayor Dawn Arnold here at the new stadium. It doesn't have a name yet, right?
Soon.
Soon to be announced. New name coming out for the stadium. Thank you again. We can't thank you enough for coming on.
It's fun.
This has been fantastic. This is it for First Down Sports.
See you guys.